You are watching or listening to Purham and Associates. For more information, go to rpurham.com or follow me on all social media platforms and subscribe at RPURHAM. Thanks. See you over there. Hey, good day to you all. Welcome to Purham and Associates. I'm your host, Randy Purham, and I hope y'all are having a fantastic week so far and looking forward to the weekend. It's, of course, Friday, and this is a time that we take to thank our men and women who are serving our nation around the world, sacrificing and committing their time and their freedom in protecting our freedom, our Constitution, our way of life. We want to thank you. We salute you. We wish you a safe journey back home to your friends, families, and loved ones, wherever that may be. And folks, got a very special treat for you today. We got a very special guest with us. He is a syndicated radio host, and we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff today that's going on in the footprint of redistricting. That's been the hot topic of these last few weeks, and got a subject matter expert on the topic here. So without further ado, we have John Gordon. And as I said, he is the host of the syndicated radio show, The Truth with John Gordon. He is a graduate of the Mercer University Law School in Georgia. He is a business owner and entrepreneur who has also worked as a journalist and reporter in Macon and Atlanta. He ran as a Republican candidate to be the Georgia's Attorney General in 2022 and was endorsed by President Donald Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the some and presenting the others, Mr. Jordan. John Gordon. Good morning, sir. How are you today?
Good, Randy. Happy Labor Day weekend to you.
Absolutely. Same to you. Thank you. My
and I love the opening. Thank you for all the men and women that have served in our military.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. Thank you. John, I want to ask you, first off, welcome to the program. This is your first time here. And hopefully, more appearances will come down the road. But I'm curious about your AG race a couple years ago, because at the same time you were running for AG out of Georgia, I was running for Congress out of Alaska. So it was.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So small world, I guess you could say. So tell us about that campaign and what happened there.
Well, obviously I didn't win. Otherwise, I would be at the state capitol right now working as the Attorney General. But I have no regrets. I did what I needed to do. I had worked for 2.5 years on a lawsuit against the Fulton Board of Elections for election fraud that occurred in the 2020 election. Mm-hmm. I've seen the evidence. I've talked to the witnesses. I've played devil's advocate with the expert witnesses. There is no question in my mind that Georgia was stolen in 2020. The constitutional officers utterly failed us. Mm-hmm. The judiciary, where we had a ruling from Brian Amaro, the Superior Court judge of Henry County, Georgia, ruled that we had demonstrated a prima facie case and ordered the absentee ballots be unsealed. We never got to the inspection because 8 months into the case, Judge E reversed himself and ruled that we lacked standing, which we took to the Georgia Supreme Court, and it was unanimously overturned. So the case is still pending.
Wow.
The order to unseal the ballots is still pending. The ballots have been under a protective order since 2020. And the news media lies So in the face of all that, I concluded there was only one avenue left, and that was to run for Attorney General so that I could open an official investigation, uncover the truth, and hold the people that did it accountable. Unfortunately, we just never got that shot. But as I said, those orders still remain. I happen to believe that the United States Justice Department is aware of the order and is looking at it very hard. I think that we will have some blockbuster news coming out of Georgia on a couple of fronts in the not too distant future. I think Fani Willis is clearly, we're waiting for the Supreme Court to rule. I expect that they will affirm the Court of Appeals, which removed her from the Trump case and the Trump 19, I refer to them. It was a witch hunt. It was corrupt as hell. She paid her lover to be a special prosecutor, and she bragged about drinking Grey Goose after hours. So I have such low regard for this person. Yeah. It is hard for me to constrain myself. And the Supreme Court, if they'll really do their job, they need to make a referral to the Georgia Bar Association and suggest that she be looked at for removal from the bar. Yeah. Her conduct has been egregious. She needs to be held accountable for it. Mm-hmm. If I was Attorney General, the referral would have already been made. She would already be on the hot seat. But Chris Do-Nothing Carr still warms the seat. And now this poor excuse for an Attorney General and a lousy public servant that's made a mockery of the Open Records Act is going to run for governor?
Wow.
I don't think so. The only problem is he's got Brian Kemp supporting him, and Kemp has got a $150 million war chest. Whether we like it or not, he will probably be formidable.
Wow. So are you looking that's crazy. No. Chris Carr, no. that's insane. I
hope the people of Georgia have the same reaction. They should.
Yeah, I pray that they do. Are you thinking about running again for AG?
I don't think I'll run for AG. I've still have my home in Georgia. I have my businesses in Georgia. I am probably going to move my residency to Florida. I've spent most of my time in West Palm Beach. I'm about to move into a new house right across the water from Mar-a-Lago. I really like it down here.
Nice. The
scale is great. The weather's good, except in August and September. But aside from that, I really enjoy it. I play tennis 4 days a week, 2 hours at a stretch. I'm trying to stay relevant, Randy.
There you go. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And moving down to Florida is probably an escape route from Chris Carr. So good luck on that.
I might need to.
Yeah, right.
Other people in positions of authority who I have not held back on.
Yeah, I want. So speaking of that, real quick, what is the political climate there right now in Georgia? And then is Stacey Abrams still poking around? Is she going to try to run again as well?
I don't know what, she's counting her billions right now.
Yeah.
I don't know that she hadn't lost her appetite for public service because she's got so much NGO money. She got, was $1 billion from Biden.
I want to say it was $2 billion. Yeah. So close to $2 billion.
Yeah. And she had, and she had 89,000 toaster ovens to show for it that she'd given to poor people. Where'd the other $1,990,000,000 go to?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so embarrassing and frustrating. Yeah. But, the state is, Donald Trump proved that it's still red, but I think there is some blue in there, definitely. Mm-hmm. You've got Fulton County of about 5 million people, and then the rest of the state of probably 7 or 8 million.
Okay.
And Atlanta skews very left and liberal. The rest of the state is by and large conservative, not totally, but for the most part, it's dark red.
Yeah.
And so, but when you at the end of the day, Republicans have a relatively minor lead. They need to keep it. Having said that, we've got 9 of 14 congressional seats. We've got the governor's office. If you call Kemp a Republican, we've got the constitutional officers. If you call them a Republican, and then we've got both houses of the legislature. So we've got a stronghold. We've just got to work to keep it, not take anything for granted.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. That's good. Texas has a similar makeup right now. I'm down here in Austin, Texas, and I'm 10 minutes from the Capitol, and heavily involved in Texas politics here, and the redistricting push that happened. I was going to say going on, but it's still going on because it's going to go to the courts. But is Georgia looking at doing some redistricting to shore up congressional seats themselves, or are they kind of saying no?
I have not heard any rumblings to that effect. I mean, 9 of 14 is pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
I think sometimes contentment's just a good place to be. There's no real need to go in there and poke the beehive if you don't need to.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I thought we were sitting pretty well down here in Texas, considering it is a red state, but it became even more redder, and they decided to carve out 5 more seats. So it's interesting. But the president,
how many seats does Texas have?
We have a total of 38 seats, and I want to say 9 out of that. 9 or 12. I can't remember off the top of my head. I want to say it's about 9 are Democrat held. All the rest of them are Republican held seats. So
you might go from 29 to 34.
4, correct. Yes.
That would be very strong.
Yeah, it would.
And we need it.
Yes.
We need it.
Totally.
Republicans typically the party in power typically loses in the midterms.
Correct.
Now, I think that the Republicans are looking really good thanks to Donald Trump. He is single-handedly remaking our national economy for the better. $600 billion are forecast to come into the Treasury, newfound money, as a result of tariffs over the next 12 months. That's according to Howard Lutnick, the Secretary of Commerce. Scott Bessent and Lutnick have please implore the president to use that money for deficit reduction. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and I got news for you. It is a locomotive, and it is barreling down the tracks straight at us. This deficit and the cost to service the deficit is a problem of epic, gargantuan proportion that most people are not aware of and are not talking about. We have got to impose budget, fiscal discipline in Washington, D.C. It's a word they don't know much about, but they're going to have to practice it unless they want to wreck this country. So Jerome Powell, likewise, needs to come to the table. He's got an opportunity to give us interest rate reductions, and interest rate reductions will help reduce the amount of interest that the federal government has to pay on that mountain of $36 trillion in debt. There's not enough money in this country that debt if we wanted to right now.
Something interesting. You said 2 things that's interesting right now to me. Not a clarification, but I want you to expound. Typically, sure. As you said, the Republican Party or the party in power loses control in midterms. That's been a historical thing for decades. And then we have the national debt battle going on, tariffs and everything else. You combine those two. If we are in threat of losing or in jeopardy of losing the House come November next year, we're going to see a balloon bust of the economy, the debt and everything else. They're going to put a stop to the tariffs and what have you. So we're going to see not only a locomotive, we're going to see a cataclysmic, collide of, just a travesties with a collapsing economy because the Democrats are back in power. I want to get your thoughts on that, because this is that is something that's I would say is that the American people should be aware of, and realize what we're facing come November. Because they probably, and you, to your point, they're not thinking about that. They're not looking at the total spectrum of it all. They compartmentalize different things and think that they're mutually exclusive. No, 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 my friends. They're all together and they all related. So I want to get your thoughts on that, sir.
Well, I think the country breathed a collective sigh of relief on November the 6th, 2024, when they woke up and learned that Donald Trump regained the presidency. And a lot of people felt like, okay, we've done it. The fact of the matter is, every 4 years since 2002, or every halfway point in an administration since 2002, the current party in power has lost in the midterms. So my point is, like Ronald Reagan said, freedom is not free. We cannot rest on our laurels and think just because we won by a commanding lead in 2024 that we don't have to continue to fight in 2026. So I encourage every American in the sound of my voice to get off the couch and do what you did in 2024 and do it again in 2026. Do you know that 3,000 Amish typically vote in Pennsylvania? In 2024, 90,000 Amish voted. That's the kind of participation that will solidify our republic. That's what we've got to continue to do. And Trump said, too big to rig. I thought he was delusional. I thought he was just living in a fantasy world, but danged if he didn't do it.
Yeah.
We got to do it again.
I agree 100%. You know, the voter turnout, you know, here in, you know, just across the nation actually was exponentially larger than previous presidential cycles. And now it sets this tone, if you will, that in order to win, and this is a down ballot candidates, in order to win, they need to have somewhat like presidential type numbers, you know, to win an election. So I don't know if we'll get there for midterms, and given that we're facing a gubernatorial cycle this coming up election next year, if President Trump is pushing,
is Abbott back on the ballot?
He is. He will be. Yes.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. And so if President Trump is pushing to have, you know, red states redistrict their states, and say 4 more states do that, then we can see we may see a historical shift, if you will, of, you know, control of Congress, and perhaps it'll be an effect for the next couple of decades. I want to get your thoughts on that, on if, you know, more red states do decide to do redistricting.
Well, there's certainly no law against it. The Constitution requires a reapportionment a minimum of every decennial census. So Texas redistricted, if I'm not mistaken, I think 2002 or 2003, after after having redistricted following in conjunction with the census. Then there is a precedent for it. There are only 2 states in the union, and by the way, states determine the elections process in each state. It's not a federal law; it's a state law controlling elections, and there are only 2 states in the union that preclude redistricting in between the 10-year census, and that would be California and Iowa. So Gavin Newsom's got a sticky little problem on his hands if he wants to reapportion California, because in order to do it, he would either have to repeal the law or break the law. Now, exactly. He's surely never done that before.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, so I was in a discussion with a Democrat at the Texas Capitol last week during the whole redistricting battle that was going on, and they said, well, what you guys are doing is unconstitutional. I said, please, I put in my pocket Constitution that I carry in my bag, and I said, please show me in the Constitution where it says you can redistricting is unconstitutional. I said, show me the section, please. I'm just trying to figure it out, because what are you talking about?
No, the redistricting in the decennial is a minimum standard. It is not the only standard by any means.
Exactly.
And look, the numbers don't lie. The Democrats have allowed 20 million illegals to come into this country. They thought that they were going to be able to pull a fast one and register them to vote, and that would be a way for them to regain their power. Yeah. Damn them. They're willing to ruin this country by bringing a whole class and generation of people that are going to be dependent on our national budget. I mean, as I'm accused of having a big heart. I wear it like a badge of honor. It's okay with me. But we cannot take care of the world. Right. So I don't think that the Democrats really are doing it out of the goodness of their heart. I think that is a lie. I think they are doing it because of their own lust for power and their own greed. That's what I think their motivations are. And so we've got to fight fire with fire, and we got to push back. Reapportioning is perfectly legitimate. And illegals need to be taken off the rolls because that is illegal.
Yes, you're absolutely right about that. And you brought up an interesting point that we're actually dealing with this week in the Texas legislature. And that is one of the representatives, Matt Shaheen. I'm going to go ahead and put him on blast here because he's a clown for doing this. But he's been charged with to fix it because he did it. He slipped in an amendment in one of our bills, our election bills, to allow for same-day voter registration. And when the person moves from one county to within the same county but changes districts, they can essentially show up to a polling location and demand a vote on the spot, without proof or anything. So we're like, no, we're not doing that. So that raised a lot of alarms and bells to have that provision removed out of our state law there. And it was crazy to me is that there is a concerted effort on the part of Democrats down here anyways. It probably the same thing in California and in the coastal states, that there's a concerted effort to allow for illegal immigrants to vote in our elections. They already allow them to vote in municipal elections in many states. But then now the push to say, as long as you have a driver's license and or some kind of identification, you should be allowed to vote in the United States. It's like, no, they need to have the other prevailing requirement is that a U.S. citizenship. And Democrats are trying to negate that. And it's just crazy to me. So just get your thoughts on that, sir.
Well, I think it's illegal. It's unethical. It's not fair. You pick a criteria that you want to judge that by. The only justification is they're greedy. They want power. And that's not the way this country works. If that's the way you want to behave, move to Venezuela. Get the hell out of here. Just go somewhere where you can cheat and you can steal elections, but not in the United States.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that totally. If you want to do all that, move to Venezuela, move to Guatemala, move out of the United States. Go away. You already said if President Trump became president, he was going to lead the country. Please bless us with that.
Hold up your word.
Yeah, absolutely. John, tell us about the Truth with John Gordon, your show, and how long you've been on the air, and where people can find that.
Well, we're in fourth year. We're on the John Fredericks Radio Network in Nashville, Atlanta, Memphis, Richmond, Norfolk, Lynchburg, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and Morgantown, West Virginia. And we're on every Saturday and Sunday from noon to 2. You can also find us on johngordon.tv. And if you have something you want to get off your chest or write to me about, johngordontruth@gmail.com. And we're on all the social media, Getter, Rumble, X, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You can check us out there at John Gordon Truth. So I hope you will tune in and listen and subscribe to us. We'd love to have new subscribers. It doesn't cost you a penny, and you can do it in less time than it's taken me to explain it.
Awesome. John, thank you so much for being here today, sir, and I truly appreciate your time and your efforts in this fight, because it is a fight. We got to save this country and stop these crazy folks from trying to take over. We got socialism is becoming popular. I don't understand.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But
it doesn't work.
It doesn't work exactly, and so but
Find me an experiment where it's worked, and I'll reconsider my opinion. But right now, from what I know, it just does not work, and it's really an unfair system of government. You know, I've worked, you've saved, you've invested, you've risked, and these people just want what you have and what I have without working for it, and that's not cool, man. That's just not cool.
Absolutely.
So.
I agree with you.
Fight 100%. On we shall. Yes. I appreciate what you're doing too, Randy.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, sir, and look forward to having you back again soon. So be safe out there, and God bless you.
You're a good interviewer.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Same to you, and again, happy Labor Day weekend.
Happy Labor Day to you too as well, sir. Take care. Ladies and gentlemen, John Gordon. Hey, check out his show. It's actually a really good show. I really like it. Check it out. You can pick it up on, once again, johngordon.tv. There's scrolling through there right now. I'm trying to catch it here so y'all can catch that on the Chiron there, johngordon.tv. And also, as he said, The Truth with John Gordon. You can find it everywhere else. Everybody knows how to search for stuff. So, but folks, you know, it's Friday, and this is the time that I jump out of here early. So, I will catch you all not on Monday because it's Labor Day. Sometime next week. Let's put it like that. Y'all know I'll pop up randomly at times. So I'll catch you all soon. Take care. God bless. And ciao. I hope you enjoyed today's program. You can follow, like, share, subscribe on Spotify, Substack, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, and your news. And also, you can download Let the Truth Be Told.
Hey, Randy, you still there?
Favorite streaming platforms such as Fire Stick, Apple TV, and Roku. Take care. God bless.